Hey there, welcome back to Midwest Cloth Mama. I'm Renata, and I've got my little Belle here with me today. She has not napped yet today, so hopefully she will fall asleep during this, and hopefully you won't. But today we're going to talk about some myths with cloth diapering. Now, cloth diapering kind of gets a bad rap, and a lot of that is due to misinformation about the diapering. So we're going to tackle some of this. And the first one I want to talk about today is that cloth diapering is gross. A lot of people think that cloth diapering is somehow way more gross than disposable diapering. And that's just not true. But here's the thing. Parenting is gross. No matter what, parenting is gross. I had my 2-year-old walk up to me the other day, and he's like, "Mom, I have a surprise for you." "Oh, thanks." "It's a snot." Thanks, kid. So, kids are gross. And no matter what type of diapering that you choose to do, you are gonna have to deal with poop in some way or another. Do you have to dump the poop from a cloth diaper into the toilet? Yes. Once babies start solids, you do have to do that. But here's the thing. You're actually supposed to be doing that with disposable diapers as well. Our landfill systems are not set up for human waste. And there are instructions to dump the waste from a disposable diaper in the toilet. Now, I challenge you to find one parent who actually does that. I know the times that I've used disposable diapers, I certainly haven't done it. Actually, there have been a few times, but for the most part, the times that I have used disposables, I haven't done it. So, you have to dump the poop in the toilet. Okay, if you're really worried about the poop, you can always get a pair of dollar store rubber gloves to protect your hands from any possible poo splatter. Or you can even get these little things called diaper dogs. They're these little dog-shaped things you stick on your fingers, and you don't have to touch anything. You just use those. So there are ways around it if you're very worried about the poop, although it's really, in my cloth diapering, a non-issue. Now, have you ever heard of those stories of the parents where the baby blew out of the diaper and they were covered up to their neck, up their back in newborn baby poop? Yeah, we've all heard those stories. I've never dealt with anything like that in cloth diapers at all. Now, we did have one poop explosion. I was new to the cloth diapering and I wanted to try out a brand that I'd never tried before, so I bought a used one, and I didn't know the elastics on the legs were way stretched out. So my husband put it on my baby, on our oldest, when I was at work, and he ended up having this huge poop explosion. And I thankfully didn't have to deal with it. But that's really the only notable poop explosion that we've ever had, because we got a diaper that was worn out past its use. So obviously we got rid of that diaper. And that's pretty much it. We haven't had those explosions in car seats. I've never had a baby covered up their back in poop. Now, this little one likes to poop about every 4 or 5 days. So occasionally we'll get a tiny bit that squeaks out a leg hole because she's got such skinny little legs. But for the most part, we really don't have any kind of explosions or anything like that. The next myth is that cloth diapers smell. In my experience, cloth diapers actually smell a whole lot better than disposable diapers. I do not have issues with smell, and as long as you have a good wash routine, you're not really going to have issues with smell at all. Most cloth diapering families, they leave their diapers in an open diaper pail with just a pail liner. In fact, a lot of them will just use a laundry basket with a pail liner in the corner of a room and toss diapers in there. I know I have an open diaper pail that I use, and I regularly let my diapers sit 4 to 5 days between washings. Now, find me one set of parents who use disposable diapers that'll just let them sit out in a room for 5 days straight. No, that room would smell so bad. The thing is, the excrement reacts with all the chemicals in the disposable diapers and actually creates a much worse smell than what you would actually get just from the poop and pee. And that's why disposable diapers smell so bad. I know the times that I've used them, I use them if we're on a long road trip or something like that. And the times that I've used them, it always catches me off guard whenever I'm throwing a newly soiled diaper into a bag with some older ones. You just get hit with that smell. Oh, hey, bud. Want to come here? Want to help me out?
Yes.
Up on the lap. We're talking about how cloth diapers don't smell bad. So you want to do me a favor?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you sniff that? What do you think? Yuck! Ah. There goes my credibility. Never trust a 2-year-old. Get out of here. And that leads us to the next myth, number 3. It's super complicated. They're complicated to use, they're complicated to wash, it's super time consuming. Is cloth diapering more time consuming? To an extent, yes, you are doing an extra couple loads of laundry a week. But you know what I've never had to do? I've never had to run to the store in the middle of the night because I just realized I'm out of diapers. I don't have to keep track of how many diapers we have left at all times. So there is more time with washing an extra load or 2 of laundry a week, but it's also in some ways a lot easier because I don't have to worry about ever running out of diapers, which is really nice. Well, trying to record that while the kids were awake was getting way too complicated. So here you have me, middle of the night Renata, recording the video, so hopefully I don't look too haggard now. But we were talking about complicated as far as cloth diapering, and I remember starting up diapering, and I thought to myself, what have I done in the first week? I seriously thought I wasted all this money on these diapers and I don't know what I'm doing and I absolutely hate this. But then after about 2 weeks, I started to get the hang of it pretty fairly well. And after about a month, it was old hat. I had it down. I thought I knew everything at that point. I didn't, but it was no big deal. So there can be a learning curve with cloth, definitely, but it's worth it. And just like anything in parenting, there's gonna be a learning curve, really. And it's not that bad. So if you are interested in starting cloth, let me tell you, stick with it. Give it time. You probably won't know what you're doing at first, but it's not that hard to learn. It's not that complicated. And you will get the hang of it, and it will be second nature in no time. And then you'll be really grateful that you started on the journey of cloth diapering. And as far as complicated goes, also, a lot of information out there indicates that washing diapers has to be really complicated. And it isn't. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of bad washing instructions out there. And when I first started washing diapers, man, I thought you had to do a pre-rinse and then a pre-wash and add extra water and trick your machine with extra towels and then do a heavy-duty wash and 2 extra rinses and dance on one leg, stand on your head, kiss a unicorn, all to get your diapers clean. And you don't have to do all that. Really, the gist of washing diapers, you need a short pre-wash, just the shortest cycle on your machine with a little bit of detergent, and that's going to get the nasty stuff out, the grime out of your diapers, the pee out of your diapers. And then after you've gone through that wash, you put them in a long, heavy duty cycle with more detergent, and that's going to deep clean them. And that's it. Then there's a rinse already attached to the cycle. You just use that one rinse that's already in your machine cycle. You don't need a bunch of extra rinses. You can line dry them or you can throw them in the dryer. I like to line dry in the summer, but in the winter I just chuck those things in the dryer. It is not as complicated as a lot of wash instructions are out there. If you're interested in getting started washing cloth diapers, please visit fluffloveuniversity.com or Fluff Love and CD Science on Facebook. I am not personally affiliated with Fluff Love University, but they have helped me immensely finding a good, simple wash routine that gets my diapers clean every single time. And I have cloth diapered with 3 different washers. We have moved a couple years ago. We moved. So I've used a front load washer, I've used an old school washer with the agitator in the middle, and I now have a large capacity HE top load washer with no agitator. So I've had success cloth diapering in all 3 of those machines, and it was largely due to getting on fluffloveuniversity.com and looking into the type of machine I have and what they recommend of washing diapers. And they break it down by machine. They break down detergents that they know work really well on diapers, and you just kind of set up a routine from there, and it's actually pretty simple. I intend to cover washing a little bit more in depth in another video, but for now, all we're covering today is myths about diapers and the myth that washing is super complicated. And it's not. It is as simple as I just laid it out. If you're really interested in getting started, please go visit Fluff Love University online, and you will have just a whole host of information available to you about the best wash routine for you and your diapers. Another myth is that they're complicated to use. Now, depending on the diaper type, there can be a little bit of a learning curve. If you're using the old style pre-folds or flat diapers, then there's going to be some learning that you have to do. I started out with pre-folds, and it took me, like I said, I was freaking out for the first week. What have I done? But you get the hang of it, and you get the hang of folding them pretty quickly. So if you're using that type of diaper, there's a bit of a learning curve, but there's a lot of diapers out there. Most of my stash now, what I use is all-in-one diapers, and they're as simple as just putting on a disposable diaper. So if that's how you choose to do your diapering, it's really not more complicated than a disposable diaper at all. And you pretty much just stick the diaper on the baby, and then you snap it down. There we go. You got your whole diaper right there. Take the whole thing off and throw the whole thing in the wash. So the 4th myth we're going to talk about here is diaper rashes. A lot of people think that cloth diapers cause more diaper rashes. And in some cases, if you have a really bad wash routine and your diapers are not getting properly cleaned, that can be the case. But if you've got a good wash routine, which remember is really not that complicated, then there shouldn't be a bunch of rashes on your baby. There are some instances that you may get diaper rashes, but those can be non-cloth related. Things like if your child is sensitive to certain foods, or they could be sensitive to the material of the cloth, and you'd have to find a different type of cloth to use. There's all kinds of cloth options out there. They could even be sensitive to the detergent that you're using to wash them in, or they could just have a yeast rash. So there can be reasons that babies develop rashes in cloth diapers, but as a general, cloth diapers are actually better at keeping rashes away than disposable diapers are. And there are many components to that. Disposable diapers are filled with all kinds of chemicals and super absorbent polymers, And some babies will show a sensitivity to that. You hear about babies, oh, I couldn't use Huggies, so I switched over to Pampers, or I couldn't use Loves, so I switched to Target Brands diapers. And you hear a lot about that in the disposable diapering. And unfortunately, disposable diaper companies aren't actually required to say what is in their diapers, so it can be hard to pinpoint what a baby is having a rash or reaction to with a disposable diaper. Whereas if it's something in a cloth diaper like your detergent you're using, that's a fairly easy thing to figure out why a baby would be reacting. I know that I personally have only ever dealt with 4 diaper rashes in my entire diapering journey. The first rash was because my oldest son was eating so many clementines. He really loved them. And he ate a bunch one day, and then he got really acidic poop, and the next day he ended up with a diaper rash. And I realized, obviously I cut him off of the clementines, cut him back to like 1 a day, and the rash was gone within a day. My second son, ironically, had the exact same thing happen. My kids like clementines. So, had the same thing happen. I ended up having to cut him back to 1 per day as well. Same exact rash. And then the next rash I had was with my daughter, and this was a long term. It was weeks long, and I couldn't get rid of this rash. I put her in cloth, I put her in disposables, I tried multiple rash creams, and I couldn't do anything to get rid of it. And then I ended up actually cutting dairy out of my diet, and the rash was gone in 2 days. So that rash had nothing to do with any kind of diaper at all. It was just simply my dairy intake was affecting her in a negative way. And ever since I cut dairy, the rash went away completely, and she was fine. I've since reintroduced dairy, and she's able to handle it now. But that was another rash I had. And then the only rash I've ever had that has been caused by a diaper was actually my oldest. We put him in disposable pull-ups when he was potty training for nighttime. And he developed a sensitivity to Huggies pull-ups. And it got to the point where if we put him in them just one night, he would end up all red with a bad rash by the next morning. That's my personal experience with cloth versus disposable and rashes. The only rash I've actually had caused by a diaper was in disposable diapers. Now, like I said, you do have to have a good wash routine with cloth diapers. But again, it's not difficult to get a good wash routine. Another advantage that cloth diapers have over disposables as far as rashes go is they're actually made out of breathable materials. Disposable diapers, they're plastics, they're polymers, and more plastic, and they do not breathe. Whereas cloth diapers, a lot of them are natural materials, they're breathable. Even the covers on cloth diapers are not actually waterproof. They're water resistant. They do a great job at it, but the PUL covers are a water resistant material. So you are going to get breathability there, and that actually helps baby's skin. So that's another way that cloth diapers are really great, especially if you're dealing with a lot of disposable diaper rashes. A lot of people will switch to cloth and see those rashes clear up. Not only do cloth diapers tend to be a little bit better for baby's skin, but they are also better for baby's hips. Myth number 5 is that cloth diapers delay milestones in babies, which to me is kind of a ridiculous myth that people think this. It's probably because they see those little bitty babies with those big old fluff butts, and sometimes at the beginning they do have a little bit of problem rolling over initially. But my oldest, he rolled at 3 months to the day. My second one, 4 months. My youngest just started rolling over and she's almost 6 months old, but she just doesn't care. She likes just laying there. Milestones are about the baby. Everybody knows that. Every baby develops differently. Every baby hits milestones differently. And that cloth would be blamed on delaying milestones. It's kind of odd to me. But cloth actually is really good for the hips. And if you're familiar at all with babies with hip dysplasia, now a lot of them are put into a Pavlik harness, which holds the hips open and in a wider position. And that helps babies with hip dysplasia, and it helps them develop better, where they don't have to have an invasive surgery later, a lot of babies. But prior to the invention of the Pavlik harness, doctors' recommendations were to double up diapers or to put babies in bulkier cloth diapers or even tube bulky cloth diapers. So cloth diapers have actually been historically recommended for babies' hips and for babies' development. Even still, doctors will tell people while they're waiting to be assessed for hip dysplasia with a baby, they will still recommend putting babies double diapered or in cloth diapers. So it just blows my mind that people think that cloth diapers are bad for milestones or bad for babies' physical development. That myth, I just have a hard time understanding that one. But it's out there. Myth number 6 is that cloth diapering is way too expensive. And depending on what diapers you buy, you can get diapers up in the $38 range if you're looking at high-end diapers. But cloth diapering is as expensive or as cheap as you make it. Now, I can see where the myth comes from because of some of the higher-end diapers, but you can diaper very, very inexpensively if you need or want to. Now, I personally have gone through the addiction phase where I love all my cute prints, and I spent way too much money on way too many really cute diapers. But not everybody does that. And despite the fact that I have spent way too much money, I've still saved a ton of money. I've used my personal diaper stash on 3 different babies, so that saved me money. And when I'm done with them, I'll end up selling them. Try reselling a used disposable diaper. You're not going to get any money for that. So my diapers, I'm going to use them. I'll sell the ones that are still usable, which a lot of them probably will be still. And my newborn stash, I've actually already given away to someone else. So those are going on to diaper more babies at no cost to them. And diapering, like I said, can be as cheap or as expensive as you make it. If you're on a very, very tight budget, there are options out there that you could diaper a baby from birth to potty training for around $100. And if you really need to save money, that is a valid option. But I'd say most families could easily diaper a baby around $300 with cloth diapers. And considering the amount that you spend on disposable diapers, that is such a small amount of money compared to the cost of disposables. So it can be a larger startup cost in the beginning, but it will definitely save you money as long as you don't get too addicted to all the adorable prints out there. Now, I do plan on breaking down costs of diapers and getting started a little bit more in another video, but for now, just know cloth diapering can definitely save you a lot of money. And then that takes us to myth number 7, that cloth diapers really aren't all that environmentally friendly. Now, there is a lot of information out there if you're looking into this, and a lot of conflicting information. If you do research yourself, you may find articles that say that disposable diapers and cloth diapers have a fairly equal environmental impact. All I can really say about that right now is know who paid for the study or who wrote the article that you're reading. There's a lot of conflicting information out there. And I plan on getting into this a lot more deeply also in another video. There's just not time in this video. It's already been way too long. Just think about the billions of disposable diapers sitting in our landfills, not decomposing while they leach human waste into the ground, because our landfills were never equipped to deal with human waste and all the diapers. Cloth diapers are definitely more environmentally friendly than disposable diapers are. And myth number 8, we're getting to the end, is that cloth diapers are the pre-fold diapers and diaper pins that your grandma used. I don't even own a diaper pin. I've used these, and I still don't own a diaper pin. Cloth diapering is not your grandma's cloth diapering. There are some really cute diapers. You just snap on, snap off, and this is it. This is the whole diaper right here. Take that, stick it on the baby, wrap it up, take it off, throw it in the wash. There you go. And the 9th and final myth that we're going to talk about today is that only hippies cloth diaper. Come on, that one's a little ridiculous. I cloth diaper. You probably know someone else who cloth diapers. Heck, even my parents cloth diapered back in the day, and they definitely were not. So that makes 8 myths that we've dispelled today in this video. Hopefully you leave here realizing that cloth diapering is different and better than your initial impressions. And thank you so much for watching the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it or learned something about cloth diapering. And don't forget to subscribe to Midwest Cloth Mama. I'll have more cloth diapering videos in the future. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Remember, today is a great day to make a small change.